Welcome to another video from East Beds Bushcraft, the home of #survival.
Greetings bushcrafters and survivalists, Buzz here. We're out at camp for a change, and this weekend we're trying out the Outbacker stove, or one of their stoves. This one weighs 12 kilos. I find it's fine. It comes in its own bag so you can carry it around. It's also got a shoulder strap on it if you need it. A lot of people say it's quite a weighty stove. I like a heavy stove. I've got a log burner at home. I've got log burners that I've used all over the place. This is my newest one that I'm going to use in my British Army bell tent. I'm also going to be using this in the Lavoo. So let's unpack it and see how it goes. So here we are, we're just unpacking the stove. It comes in its own carry bag. Look, it's got this beautiful cooking plate that comes out. All the accessories and everything are stored within the actual stove itself, which is fantastic. So I'm going to get it out of its bag, pop it together, and see where we go from there. Now, I've taken the stove out of its bag, and I'm loving it already. I mean, we've got a little glass window, we've got our regulator vent, but look at this, it's got these fantastic fold out legs on the bottom. Absolutely superb. A bit difficult to video and do at the same time, just one-handed. The great thing is the old British Army tent comes with a stove jack already built in, so I don't think I'm going to need to use the metal stove jack that I bought for this, which I primarily bought for using with the Lavoo. But this is great. I mean, you know, it's so well made. As I say, everything is stored, all the flue stored inside. It's got side racks that go on the side of it to help with your cooking pots, etc. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm impressed so far. So we've just assembled, literally took 60 seconds if you like to put it together. The racks go on each side, as you can see, and then you take the flue out. It comes with a little dust ash tray in there as well, and it's come outside the tent. So there it is out of the jack, stove jack outside the tent, and it's got a really generous amount of flue. Yeah, that is fantastic. And obviously it comes with its own spark arrestor as well at the end of the flue. This is going to be great. I'm going to try this in the Lavoo. I dare say I'll knock the flue length down where I'm using it in the Lavoo. And as I say, I got this other stove jack. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, I got this other Outbacker Stove jack for it, which just sits inside here. Obviously in the Lavoo this will keep the flue away from the arms in the Lavoo, but this old British Army tent has got a fireproof stove jack in it already, and as you can see, there's plenty of space around the actual flue itself, so I don't think I'm going to need to bother about attaching this flue jack. We shall see. Yeah, it also comes with fittings, so you can put a Jubilee clip around it where you feel necessary in order to put 3 guy ropes on it, because obviously if you're in high wind you've got a bit of movement in that flue. I mean, there is absolutely zero wind today, and I've checked the weather reports, there's no wind expected, but I might put some guy ropes on it just to see. But yeah, it's looking good. The only thing I need to do is fire it up, but the sun's out. As I say, we're back on our Anglo Saxon build, and it is stinking hot at the moment, so I'm just going to chop some firewood, get some kindling to go, and light this up a bit later, because obviously it needs a couple of burns, 2 or 3 burns, just small burns to start it off to cure the paint on it. There's bound to be some paint smell off it. There usually is when you're using a new burner. But yeah, we'll get this going later. Superb. I've also brought my biggest outdoor firebox for this evening, so we can have an outdoors firebox and fire, do our cooking outside if we want. I'm primarily looking at using the stove, if required, to warm the tent up overnight if the temperature drops, because it's not summer yet, and although it might be really hot at the moment, as soon as we get the sun goes down, the temperature will drop off and it'll feel a bit chilly, so it'd be an ideal time to try that out in the tent, and maybe cook up breakfast on it in the morning. Anyway, after chatting with my son said, "Hey Dad, you brought the stove jack, why don't you try it?" So I have, and it fits perfectly in here. Interesting thing is, it's so flush with the flue that it's designed. This one is primarily designed as a TP stove jack. So if you can imagine, you've got a TP tent, and then your fire spark arrestor there is going to be very close to the peak of the tent. Is way away from the peak of this bell tent, and so the idea of this is the hooks just hook into the spark arrestor, and that keeps it off the tent, which is great. Obviously this bell tent has a much lower fire jack inside of it, stove jack should I say, and I thought it'd just slide straight down. But interestingly enough, it's because the way this flue's designed, where it slots onto each part, it seems to have gone slot. Oh, I could just go inside, and it stopped. It's actually stopped. It hasn't slid down any further than that. So, looking at the tent from the inside, looking at the stove from the inside, it's actually stopped itself going any further, simply because of the design of the flue, which is excellent. So it couldn't be more perfect. You've got the stove jack, fits perfectly through there. So yeah, I'm happy. It's probably the better choice to put the stove jack on, actually, in this particular tent. So good, excellent. Say hello to my favourite big size firebox. Now this one, as you can see, I've got the big cast iron tripod for the Dutch oven or cauldron, call it what you want. But over there I do bacon, stews in that cauldron. We've got the spit for spit roasting chickens, whatever you want to spit roast. We have our firebox itself, which, as you can see, stands off the ground, which means that we don't get scorched patch on the floor. I always bring a steel plate that goes underneath it, just in case, which is quite handy because I can chuck wood under there while burning. That dries out the wood, etc. I've also got an extra rack under there that I can put on here. The firebox itself, the legs are detachable. You just lift it up, the legs drop out, so it all packs down. We have got these wonderful wind brakes, so depending on which way the wind's coming in, you can take these wind brakes off moving around. Also got the fantastic swiveling griddle, so if I want to do some drop scones, cook up some eggs, bacon, whatever over it. I've got this swiveling pot stand as well, so I can swivel these out of the way. I can put my other rack on the top, cooking on there. All these things, they're all detachable, so they all come off. Absolutely love this firebox arrangement. I say this is my big one for big camps, big camp outs. So you can do absolutely everything you want to do on this setup, and then it all packs down. Chuck it in the back of the car, in the van, whatever. Job done. So here we are, it's bright and early Easter Sunday, and we are about to start putting together the frame for our second Anglo Saxon lodge. As you can see, the first one is already up, so we're going to put our second one in today. We've got all the timber, is all here, ready to go. Cleaned up and ready. We did that yesterday. So it's time to crack on. And we have the first side wall up for the second lodge. Now we've got the ridge pole up, and we've got two of the A-frame struts for the roof. So what we've done is we've dug out post holes for the central poles, obviously, which have been sunk into the ground. The side walls, they've just been hammered in, and they've gone down about a foot in this soil. Then we've side walls, we've cut notches off just to sit the post flat on them, and then the roof ridge poles, as you can see, we've taken a notch out in the shape of the wall just to lock on. We've done the same up on the roof. Everything has just got a little notch out of it, so it sits in there. And although this is primarily a film set that we're building, as you can see, cheap nails. Normally what you do is you use an auger and screw into there, make a peg, bang a peg in, job done. But we don't have the luxury of that sort of time frame on this, so the nails are in. But once we get the film on this film set, then obviously things like nail heads, etc., they'll all be disappearing. You won't be seeing any of those. So this is where we're at with the second lodge frame. Next we're going to put the back end on, see where we go from there. Right, so we've just lit the Outbacker stove. Just need to get the flue hot, and that should keep us snug for the rest of the night. So, the Outbacker stove. We've been using that over the past weekend just to see how it gets on. I've used stoves before, but this is the biggest tent stove that I've used, and it's awesome. I mean, it's got everything you need. I love the extra racks you get each side of the actual stove itself. It kept us warm all the way through the night. I must admit, I woke up a couple of times, chucked a bit more fuel in there. That was fun anyway. It's a stupendous stove. I'm glad that I got the stove jack that goes around the flue. That was brilliant. One thing we didn't do is we didn't cook on it. I have no doubt that it'd be great for cooking. I mean, it's basically a giant hot plate. We used our outside camp kitchen for doing all our breakfast and everything, cooking on this weekend. And to be honest with you, it's just such a good stove for heating the tent. I don't think I would have wanted to cook breakfast on it this morning because it's been quite hot weather, and to be in the tent cooking the breakfast on that stove, although if I had no other means to cook, then I obviously would have done that, but it would have been very hot cooking in the tent this morning, even with the doors open. So, but it's a no-brainer. If you want a really robust, solid, built to last literally forever, I'd even call it bomb-proof stove, then I would go for this particular Outbacker stove. I'll give it 10 out of 10. In fact, I'll give it 11 out of 10. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe on the channel, and I'll see you later on another video.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the East Beds Bushcraft channel. See you all again soon.